Welcome to our podcast. We're excited today. I personally am very excited to have one of my most favorite clients, most favorite people, and one of the sharpest advisors we work with us here to speak with us today, Samantha Finnerty of Premier. Hi, Sam. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's like I said, it's great to have you because you are one of my favorites for a couple of reasons, which we'll talk about as we get into the conversation today. Sam, why don't you introduce yourself and your company quick, your practice?
Sure. So my name's Samantha Finnerty. My practice is called Premier Financial Management. I'm located in Saratoga Springs, New York, upstate New York. But I do have clients across the country in many different locations, such as Tampa, Florida, and the Goodyear, Arizona area. So, yeah, that's my.
And how long have you been doing this, Sam? How many years now?
So I started doing this right out of college, which was in 2012. So I've been doing this for 12 years now.
Okay. And you've built quite a nice business, and we're going to talk about a couple of different aspects of that. Before I go any further, though, Sam, I want to say thank you to one of your favorite people in the world, and that would be our producer and director, Mr. Brandon Kirst, as I like to say, Oz behind the curtain, making sure that all this rolls off just without a hitch, and that we get this out promptly to people who are going to want to hear about a couple of things you did. So, hey, I'm Bill Rambo, co-founder and partner at What's Next for Financial Advisors. Thank you for taking the time to watch our podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment, letting us know what topics you'd like us to talk about next. And if there's a topic that you think is worth hearing, let us know. We'll add you to our list of podcast experts. Also, check us out on LinkedIn, on our website for other podcasts, videos, and insights into what we do to help financial advisors identify their next levels of success and the steps to reach them. So with that, first thing, I want to get this one personal item out of the way. You have some big news coming up in October. Well, you have big news and big event coming up in October on the 19th, I believe.
21st, but that's okay.
And what would that be, Sam?
So I'm having a baby boy.
And it is going to be on the 19th because, as Brandon knows and has it circled twice in his calendar, the 19th is my birthday. So, Sam, whatever you can do there, appreciate it. But everything's
my birthday is October 5th. So we have a lot of people that want.
So, yeah, October's a busy month. But you're feeling well. Everything's good, right?
Everything's very good. I feel great.
Excellent news. Excellent news. So, it's interesting. You mentioned that your practice is located in Saratoga Springs and you just moved to a new office, right? Mm-hmm. Back in August, I believe. But when I think of your practice, I think of, and this is one of the first topics I want to talk about, I think of how you have, while you have a physical location, you've untethered your business from the physical. I mean, you will go anywhere, travel anywhere to see people in the markets that you serve. Is that fair?
Yes, especially before COVID. I love to travel anywhere.
But you're back out getting out some nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I feel like I traveled a lot and then COVID happened and Zoom happened, which was great. But now I'm back to getting out there.
So we'll come back to this concept of the untethered practice. And once again, you have a physical location, but you are as more willing than almost anybody else I can think of to get on a plane and go see candidates if they're viable prospects for your business. And that's where we'll go next, which is the focus of your business. Sam, how would you describe the focus of your business?
So the focus of my business is retirement planning. I get a lot of my clients from this one plant that is in Saratoga Springs. Basically, they come to me when they want to retire. The reason that they started coming to me is because I ended up getting one client from this plant when I first started in the business. He ended up just being a life insurance client of mine. And then years later called me saying he was retiring. I was newly licensed. He gave me a shot. He referred me to a friend. They referred me to more friends. That turned into speaking engagements. That turned into more referrals and more events. So, um,
and referrals to different locations across the country. Now, we won't mention the name of the company because we don't want anybody, for whatever reason, mad at us. But you, at one point, you were doing retirement seminars on site for the companies or for the company in different locations. That's since you've stopped doing those, but you're still getting referred to different folks locally and also across the country, aren't you?
yeah, so I was doing, in person speaking engagements at the plant. And then once that stopped, we kind of just pivoted to smaller get togethers, retirement happy hours, um,
Meet and
and then
greet.
just referrals naturally just from having clients in that niche too.
And there's the word, because the working title for this episode of our podcast is Notching a Niche. If you think about putting notches on a gun or notching a victory, when it comes to this niche or target market, niche target market you've created, it certainly has proven to be extremely successful. How many clients would you say you have across the country at this one company, Sam?
I would say maybe 75 to 100 if I had to guess.
Okay. And some of them are younger, so they're just doing planning with you to start. But a majority of them have done retirement planning with you, rollovers, and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff as well.
Yeah. So it's an array of the younger people that come to me. They just want help with maybe doing a simple retirement plan, just to make sure that they're saving enough for retirement. Maybe they want me to just do a one-time review of their 401k while I'm at it. And then the older people that are closer to retirement, we're doing a more in-depth plan. Um, where actually when they do retire, we are initiating the rollover and the income planning and all that good stuff. So it's a huge array from just starting out in your 20s to 50s and 60s. So
So, Brandon, here are the two main points to take away, and obviously we've got a lot more conversation with Sam. But the two main points to put away to take away from this is she created to developing a target market. The opportunity presented itself, and she continued to work on it, and actually made it a primary focus of her practice. Still is to this day, working with folks. Worked hard in a target marketing sense to create opportunities to create advocacy in the minds of her clients, to get referrals. She's done meet and greets. She's done ugly sweater, Christmas sweater event. She sent out stuff. She does a wonderful annual event at the racetrack at Saratoga Springs. My wife Molly and I were fortunate enough to get up there one year. Brandon, perhaps we can get up there next year if we're invited. It would be nice. But it's a great day. It's a great event. And all of that work has helped to build this wave that continues to grow in this specific target market. Right, Sam?
yeah, absolutely.
And it's just this one company, pretty much.
Pretty
Fair?
much. Yeah. Pretty much. But if I do get other clients outside of this one company, they're usually what I'm seeing, they're usually similar to these types of clients.
Okay.
Um,
And I want to spend a minute or two about that. We would not classify the people you're working with as ultra high net worth, right?
no,
How would
blue
you classify
collar, blue
blue collar?
collar, blue collar, hardworking, good savers, that just they want to enjoy retirement, but they also at the same time want to keep saving and making sure that they, you know, have money that is left behind to their kids as well. So working with them is like it's just finding a happy medium between I understand they worked so hard that they want to enjoy retirement, but they also are savers at heart too.
And they tend to be um, very loyal, and once again, very willing to advocate on your behalf. I mean, you mentioned Arizona and Tampa, but you also have clients in Pennsylvania.
Oh
There
yeah,
is a
it's
plant
in
there.
Pennsylvania. Yep.
There are a couple other places I think as well. But why do you suppose, Sam, that they're so willing to advocate on your behalf?
Probably because I mean, the ones that have retired with me, they feel so comfortable with me. Um, I'm I'm not a pushy advisor whatsoever, and I I really do understand what they went through to save this much money and the long hours that they worked and all that stuff. Um, yeah,
And once again, I'll say this one more time. I mean, not afraid to jump on a plane to go meet with someone if it makes sense in terms of building out the market.
yeah. I mean, I'll hold their hand through anything. If they need me to call Social Security with them, or if they need help with getting a rep for Medicare supplement, whatever it is, they pretty much come to me, and then I help them. I guide them if I can't do it myself.
that would also include if they need help staffing the beer cart at the company tournaments. Is that fair?
Yeah. I have done that before. I have driven around on a golf cart with koozies. So
And in Tampa, Florida, which is pretty far away from Saratoga
my
Springs.
favorite thing to do, my favorite event. Yes.
So, I mean, just an example, though, Brandon, of how Sam is fully committed to this market, and you know, I don't want to get preachy or lecture, but it's maybe not a lost art, but the idea of identifying, planning out, committing to working with testing the market, uh, committing to working with a specific market is one that's foreign to a lot of advisors. They've heard the concept, but they're not willing to commit to it. Sam, what 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 switch flipped in your head that said this is a market I need to capture? I need to be the person in there.
Bill, I think you were the switch in my head that told
I
me that.
think I was, but that was terrible of me. But yeah, really, what when was it at what point that you started to see critical mass developing and
Yeah.
make
I
yeah.
mean, so after like I got my first, bulk of clients from Saratoga, I seriously think you and I were talking about it, and you're like, you have something here. Why don't you just, you know, why don't you work this a little bit more? And then that's when I started doing the client events. Um, that's when I said, you know what? Why not go to Tampa, Florida? If someone told me about someone, one of my clients in Saratoga referred me to call someone there. Why not? What else am I doing? Why not get on a plane and go? And it was so worth it. So after I had that bulk set of clients and realized a lot of people in this industry like dream of having a niche market, and I actually have one that I can keep building on. Why not keep doing it? Why not step out of your comfort zone and just keep building on it?
And one neat thing about this market, first of all, there are how many plants roughly across the country?
Mm, I'm I'm not sure, maybe 20 or so.
Okay. All right. And every once in a while, the company will take somebody at Saratoga and send them somewhere else, which means now talking about Sam Finnerty travels with them, right? And
Oh
that's part of
yeah.
how you, yeah.
Yeah. My
Give us
clients love to advocate for me when they're away.
and here's another thing you mentioned. You mentioned that they are hardworking people. Brandon, you know this. You do some work with Sam as well. She's very hardworking, and so when this target market opportunity came up, she really did grab it by the collar and shake it, and has really been doing a great job with it. Um, Sam, what anything else that you want to tell us about the target market, the target marketing effort, any of that? Any advice you want to give?
So a big component of my market, and another reason why I do continue to get referrals, is because of the concept of net unrealized appreciation.
Ah,
Which so I think a lot of the people that worked there at that company weren't familiar with it. And then once we explained it to them and they realized that this could be a really big tax benefit for them, that's when they started referring me to even more people. And that's another reason I think that I gained and keep their trust too.
and and to help expand the market and to continue to stay current with folks in the market, you've done a good deal of social media, some of it with Brandon's help. I believe you did land a client in one of the remote territories based on social media efforts. So you're committed to staying in touch with folks on a lot of different levels, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got my first client in Arizona just from social media alone. I s- did a search on LinkedIn for people that work at this company in this town. I started messaging people. He messaged me back. I messaged his wife. She messaged me back, and then I flew out to meet them, and it ends up being they're really great clients of mine. It was a really great opportunity, and they have introduced me to more people in Arizona because of
And you've
that.
been out to Arizona a number of times now. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
been lately, but you've been, yeah, a number of
Yep.
times.
I try to go once a year.
And your efforts to develop advocacy, to show appreciation to clients because they're connected, those two, that goes beyond ugly sweaters and track event. You often will send little gifts out to folks. What are some of the things you've done there? I think you have a standard gift that you send, or welcome gift, or is that
Yeah. So first time, if it's the first time meeting with me, and if we meet through Zoom, because if it's not in person, I end up I'll mail you. It's just a welcome gift. It's a mason jar filled with candy. So that's my like, first initial gift. But then around I think last year around the holidays, I sent out local Saratoga chocolate, mailed those out to clients as like a little holiday gift. Um,
I seem to remember receiving those last year. Brandon, I think you better step up your game because they were very good.
Brandon, you're on
Promise.
the list this year.
Oh
I
boy,
promise.
that I know Brandon will appreciate that.
Yeah.
So just to sum this part up, because I want to talk a little bit more about your business, but to sum this target market portion up, you were presented with an opportunity. You identified that there was a need, that it was underserved because, once again, it's a blue collar market. And I think when most people think of developing target markets, they think real high and perhaps it's out of reach. You you certainly began to do things to court additional opportunities. You got the opportunity to do some seminars on plants. You showed the willingness to get up and go places, to exercise or take advantage of opportunity, sponsorships in golf outings and meets and greets and participating as well, not just spending money, but actually going, getting on site, shaking hands, meeting people, and amassing opportunity. Would that kind of sum it up?
Yeah, I would say so.
And the market is still vibrant, right? You're still receiving opportunities in the market. You're still meeting new people. You're still getting referrals.
Yes. Yep. I'm still getting calls from people that still work at that company. They're still attending my events. So yeah, it's still definitely still vibrant.
So now with the baby due on October 19th, will you be doing any events the end of the year, or are you going to take the end of the year and just hunker down for a little bit?
Probably not the end of not no more events this year, but I'm thinking about doing one actually the beginning of next year. It's a new event. I
Yeah.
haven't told you about it yet.
Okay. Are you willing to disclose the details here for the viewing public?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing there's a I don't know it's a hockey team. It's like a minor league hockey team in our area in
Hmm.
Glens Falls. And you could rent a box there. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that and doing like a client event there and inviting some people. So
Well, now I don't know if you know this, but Brandon is a hockey player. He was on the national champion roller hockey team 2 years ago, I believe. Lindenwald, I think, is the name of the college, and they beat the best teams in the country. And every time, Sam, and you've had this happen, you've experienced this. Every time I get Brandon on a call with a new client or just a new person, I make sure he shows everybody his ring. Brandon, let's make sure we get a picture of that ring in the podcast and with you with it, okay? But Sam, if you're going to do a hockey thing,
he's
I
invited. He's
okay.
invited and he's bringing his ring too.
There you go. Oh my God, he's gonna do an appearance. Brandon, I don't think you yet have the juice for forgive me, I love you, but I don't think you have the juice yet to ask for an appearance fee, but maybe food and drink will do it. So that's great. Well, that's a great idea, Sam. Um, I think that trying to find additional ways, maybe mixing it up every once in a while to keep being fresh or finding fresh ways to get your message and your name out is a great idea. So it's been a wonderful thing to watch. When did this all start, this target market? I don't even remember.
Well, I know we started well, I met my first client not not too long after I graduated college, so when I started in the business, but like the first time I did an event at the racetrack is really when it really started to pick up. And that was I think 7 years ago,
Okay.
6 or
All
7
right.
years ago.
Wow. Okay. Um, all right. So let's switch to your business as a business, Sam. You, as I mentioned, you're active in marketing, social media, client events, that type of stuff. But I think you are I don't think, I know you are a very, very good example of a person who is a business owner, who acts and thinks like a business owner, whose business just happens to be financial services. So, what are some of the things you do as a business owner to keep your business on track, moving forward, growing?
Yeah, so I actually feel like I like the aspect of being a business owner almost as much as I like just being a financial advisor. Like
Really?
it brings me the same amount of joy doing that. But I mean, I track my expenses, I track my revenue. Um, if I do a client event, I definitely track it to make sure that it made sense and if it makes sense to do it again the following year.
So
Um,
you do a P&L report
I do a profit and loss. Yep.
for the whole year for everything, but then individual trips, individual events, you'll do a quick little P&L as well.
Yep. Individual trips and events. Because it doesn't make sense sometimes to do them if it doesn't make sense for the business. Um, I track my referrals, my new clients. Um, I invest in, I mean, I'm willing to invest in technology if it makes sense for the business. I have no problem spending money on the business if it's better for my clients and the overall business. So,
But that must mean your profit margin is pretty tight, pretty thin, right? You don't make a lot of profit in your business because you are willing to invest and you do these events and all these other things. That was a setup. Good. You're supposed to knock that one out of the park.
I don't know what to say.
Well, so I'll say it for you. I mean, we have been tracking profit and loss. I don't know, 5, 6 years now, um, and it seems to continue to keep going up. And it's a pretty substantial margin, profit margin, which is a good thing, especially when you consider that you continue to look for ways to invest in your business, whether it's technology or new space or what was one of the most recent additions you brought on to your business to help improve the service and care you provide to
I
clients?
brought on an assistant.
There you go. And that's not an inexpensive thing to do, right?
It's not, but I have no problem. I have no problem doing that.
So assistant, office, appreciation, marketing, uh, small, tokens of appreciation, willing to travel, all that. And your business is thriving and your profit margin is substantial. Would that be a good way to sum up that business of yours?
Yes.
Okay. And on top of it, still, especially in relationship to the industry at large, a pretty young advisor, not inexperienced, but still relatively young.
Yes.
And
Compared to everyone else.
tell you what, I don't know about you, Brandon, but if I couldn't be me, I'd want to be Sam. Because she really does a great job. Let's go back to some of the other things you track, though. You mentioned you track referrals. What are some of the things you're tracking when it comes to referrals?
So I track who the actual referral is, who referred me to them, if there's any opportunity there, if there is opportunity, did we close any new business? How much money came out of it? How much income came out of it? Yeah, and that's it.
And I think there's a time aspect of that. Like, when did you receive it? How quickly did you get to them?
Yep. When was the first meeting?
Okay.
Um, when did you close the case? All of that.
And that helps you to look for ways to improve your referral process, not so much the act of getting the referrals, but what to do once you get them, right? So that they're not going cold or being
Yes.
overlooked.
Hmm.
I think one of the other things, remind me please, is by tracking referrals, in particular who's doing the referring, you've been able to identify some uber advocates in your business. Is that fair?
Oh yeah. Some years I'll see that one client referred me to five people, So definitely it's good to keep track of who's actually referring the business, because then you could see who is your one of your top clients.
And I would assume that you're able then to find ways to thank that client within the rules, obviously, but that advocate to keep that advocacy flowing.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I'll even just, go out to dinner and drinks with them. So
Okay. All right. Another thing you track, tell us about your mill report. What does that track?
my mill report tracks my new business that I have, that I'm working on or is um about to, I guess, get paid. Then we have the yellow area, which is kind of in the middle. Like, I met with them, we're waiting to do new business, maybe the next meeting. And then we have the last area, which is basically opportunity that I should be calling on and meeting with these
So you
clients.
know of someone, but you may not have a relationship with them or that
Yeah,
type.
or even if it's a client that I know I should maybe do get another meeting with, because I know there's more opportunity there.
So they cycle from an opportunity that's on the horizon, to something that you're actually in progress, in process with them. You've had a meeting or two.
Yeah, the goal is to get the opportunity up into the the meeting and then up into the actual doing business.
And so the last one was business that's submitted. So it's identify them, meet with them, do business with them, get them out, and in some cases they come back around
Sometimes they come back around. Yep.
and do it all over again.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I think it's a great idea to track that stuff. Is there anything in any insights in particular it gives you, or any ways it helps you to stay on top of things? That
Yeah,
report?
I mean, I have a reoccurring event in my calendar once a week to check in on it, and that's I do it at the beginning of the week, and that's how I know what I need to follow up on this week. If it's in regards to new business, if I need to make more meetings, I definitely go there first and see what I have available, what I need to work on. So it keeps me in check.
keeps it moving, kind of a virtuous cycle of identifying opportunity, acting on it, recognizing the return from it, and doing it. That's great, Sam. It's fantastic. Um, when you think about, once again, being a relatively young advisor, when you think about the future of your business, I mean, that's, you know, I don't know that you haven't expressed to me you plan to get out anytime soon. So I assume it's a pretty long runway you have. What are some of the things you envision adding to, or ways you intend to improve the business, or things you see on the horizon? What are some of the things you see in the future for your business?
Yeah, so I definitely don't plan on getting out of this business anytime soon. I'm only 33,
Nor should you. Well,
and
I was never going to ask, Sam, but that's okay.
it's a great business to be in. So I think I just really what I want and what I envision is just to make the business more turnkey, which I've already done in the past month by hiring someone. Um,
Well, let's stop there for a second, and I'll bring you back to finish the rest of it. But so, how has Nicholas, how has he helped to make things more turnkey in just a month and a half or so?
so he's taken a lot of the paperwork that I don't really need to be doing off of my plate, which allows me to, I feel like I can communicate with my clients more regularly. I can
Uh-huh.
get back to them quicker. I could spend all of my time on the phone talking to my clients rather than setting aside time to do paperwork that I really don't need to be doing at this point. So he's helped me a lot with that. And my clients, like, really, if they do end up talking to him, when I talk to my clients, they're really happy with the experience with talking to him. So he's
Nick is a
capable
sharp.
of way more than just paperwork, actually. So
Say that last part again. I'm sorry.
he's capable of way more than just helping me with paperwork.
Excellent. Excellent. Like I said, he's a sharp young man. So, what are some of the other things you see in the future of your business? Additions, improvements?
Yeah, probably just setting up a better client experience. Maybe bigger client events in the future. Um, just focusing on just serving my clients instead of getting wrapped up in other stuff.
So, the busy work, the paperwork, and all that other stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
and the helping with the beneficiary changes, and the this and that and the other thing that Nick can handle. That's pretty impressive answer, Brandon, when you think about the fact that Sam already invests a good bit of money annually in her business, in marketing, in client appreciation, client events, in, new office space, in technology. So to hear her say to invest more in her business, to grow it more, is, well, it's indicative of who Sam is. She's not somebody she is the quintessential what's next client, Brandon.
Oh, that's so nice.
She's she's a climber, not a camper. She's not interested in camping and resting on her laurels.
I was
Uh,
never interested in camping my whole life.
okay.
Just want to get out there.
And Sam, we haven't checked in on this specifically lately, but the last we met, your business was trending towards your best year ever. Is that still the case?
Yeah.
And if not, we can blame Brandon
No,
because
that's still the case. Definitely. I just checked on it yesterday.
okay, and we're closing in on the year end, so I imagine it will follow through strong, and you will bring that home, a beautiful baby son for you and Tim. That will be cool. I am still pushing for October 19th though. So, um, and Brandon, I think we have you to thank for some of the things that are going on, some of that social media that you're helping Sam with. It's been nice work. So, Sam, it's an impressive business. It's not just, you're not just willing to untether from the physical to seek out opportunity, but you invest regularly in your business, you track a lot of aspects of it, the P&L being one that I think a lot of folks don't do because they're probably afraid. And as a result, you've built a business that continues to grow, serves clients well, and could and would you say a source of joy in your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This has been my business has been my life for the last 12 years. So definitely brings me joy. Absolutely.
Okay. Any last thoughts, ideas, suggestions for folks out there listening?
If you're listening and you are young and you're thinking about creating a niche market, uh, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone because the payoff is huge. It's what's the worst that's going to happen if you do something that makes you uncomfortable? If it fails and you're in the same situation that you were in before, so it's not a big deal. So take chances and it'll pay off.
That's great advice. Sam, I want to thank you on behalf of Brandon and I and What's Next for spending some time sharing insights into how you've built just such a tremendous business. We'll put up contact information and website. Maybe we'll pull a couple of photos from those client events, and in addition to Brandon and his ring, um, his his national championship ring. Sam, we really value and treasure you as a client and a friend, and just want to thank you again for spending time today to share your insights.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Our pleasure. Thanks, Brandon, for the great work behind the curtain. We appreciate it. This has been the
Securities
most
and
recent
investment advisory
episode of
services offered through
What's
Osaic
Next
Wealth
for
Inc.
Financial Advisors.
Member
Don't forget to go to
FINRA
our YouTube
slash
page and
SIPC.
subscribe, like,
Osaic Wealth
share,
is
comment. And if
separately
you
owns
have a
and other
topic you'd like to
entities
hear
and or
about, whoever
marketing
you
names,
might be,
products, or
please let us know.
services
Our
referenced
contact
here
information will
are
be here as
independent of
well.
Osaic
We're
Wealth.
happy to talk to anybody about topics that can help everybody to improve and succeed. So, for Samantha, Brandon, and I'm Bill Rambo, one of the founder partners of What's Next for Financial Advisors. Thanks for stopping by.